What is up, my friends? I hope you're having an amazing day. If you're new to my channel, my name is Karissa and you should totally subscribe so you can learn how to do cool things like this hairdo that I'm about to show you. So everyone and their mother has chopped their hair off into this sexy little lob or bob, and I thought it was a perfect time to show you guys how I love to style mine. The premise behind today's video is I would like to show you how to do this either with a straightening iron or with a curling iron, because not all of you own both those items, or you're traveling and you don't have one or the other. It's a great thing to be able to do basically the same style but using a different tool. So let's jump right in. So immediately when I get out of the shower, I usually put my hair up into a big like towel bun thing on top of my head. I'll leave it like that while I put on my moisturizer and sometimes my face primer and stuff like that, and let it sink into my skin. And then I take my hair out of my towel, I brush it, and I add a mousse. And you can use whatever type of mousse you want. I like to use this volumizing mousse. It is from Divines? I'm not positive how you pronounce it. You can use whatever you want, just something that's going to give your roots a little bit of lift. And so I add about this much. It fluffs up really quickly. And I put it between my fingers, rub it all down, and I apply it into my roots. And I don't really need it throughout the lengths, I just want it throughout the roots, making sure that I have it all through my hair. After the product's all through my hair, I like to just let it sit and air dry until it's almost completely air dry, about 85 to 90% dry. And then I will take my blow dryer on a cool setting and flip my head upside down and blow dry my hair until it's completely dry. For this look, I don't have a particular part. I kind of flip my fringe back either which way, it doesn't really matter. So you're not looking to be neat or precise with blow drying, you're just looking to get your hair dry with a lot of volume in it. So after I've blow dried, my hair looks a little bit crazy, but it has a ton of volume, which is exactly what we're after. I am going to take my brush and just gently brush everything out. And I'm going to add in a heat protector because, again, I like to try and protect my hair. I love that I have like a little swipe of lipstick up on my forehead. How did that even happen? I don't know. Blow drying, man. This one is from Vita5 and I've used the CPR heat one for ages. It protects up to 230 degrees Celsius. I can spray this in my hair and brush it through. As I said in the intro, I'm going to show you guys two different ways of achieving basically the same type of hairstyle, which is the messy, wavy, curly look. I'm first going to show you with a curling iron, and then I'm going to show you with a straightening iron. And the kit that I'm using today is the New Me Curl Jam set, which comes with 3 different interchangeable barrel heads. I'm using the smallest of the 3, but you can do whatever one you want. Just remember, the larger barrel will give you looser waves, smaller barrel is going to give you a little bit of a tighter wave. When I part my hair, I usually take it right from the tops of my ears and part. And I like to use the duckbill clamps that have like the little bend in the middle. Can I show you that it bends? That was awkward, but I like to use these ones. I think that they hold my hair a little bit better than just the straight across ones. But again, it's just a personal preference. I'll start near the back, and I am going to just randomly grab little pieces and just wrap it around the curling iron in alternating directions. Again, with these pieces, I'm not wrapping all the way around like this. I'm kind of just taking it where it kind of goes around the barrel once. I might kind of kink the end just a little bit, but I'm not fully looking to have a full curl all the way down to the very bottom of my hair. Now for some of the curls, I like to wrap it and kind of slide it along the length of the curl. And this just gives it, again, a different texture for the curl. And that's all we're looking for, is crazy different texture. You also don't need to hold the curling iron on your hair for very long. This does heat up to 210 degrees Celsius, so it is really hot and it doesn't need very long before it curls. So getting into my top layers, I usually like to take my front fringe and I will pin that out of my way just so that that's kind of the last little bit that I do, because sometimes that can be a little bit more finicky than the rest of my hair. So again, picking out some pieces. And I'm varying different sizes of pieces that I'm taking. Like some of them are like a good 1.5 inches, some of them are 1 inch, some of them are less, some of them are more. You're just trying to change up what you're taking and what you're grabbing. Now these longer pieces around my face, I do like to wrap them a couple times around the barrel to give it a tiny bit more of a traditional curl. And I just give it a little bit of a pull to kind of loosen that up. And don't worry if you're like, oh my gosh, I'm gonna look like a poodle. You're not gonna look like a poodle. It will get brushed out and relax later. It's just better to have a bit of shape in the beginning and then brush it out to what you're wanting afterwards, rather than it being too flat and not being able to kind of pump it back up. Now with these longer bits, I'm playing around with where I'm placing the curl in the hair. So like for this one, I've placed the curl down a little bit lower, leaving the top bit a little bit more flat. But this next one up here, I'm going to take the hair and I'm going to do the curl a little bit higher up in my head, right up here, leaving the end out. Now with my fringe, I am unclipping it, and I like to do the back section first. So if you can kind of see that I have like this big chunk right in the middle there, I'm going to just grab the very, very front bit and separate the back. I'm going to take my curling wand and curl the entire big chunk. I'm going to start very close to the base and wrap all of my hair around. And then let it drop. And again, I'm going to go near the base and wrap all my hair in. And notice this time I have alternated the curling wand going this way, if that makes any sense. And I'll let it fall. And then the last bit for my fringe. And I'm gonna go back the original way, starting close to my roots. This time making sure to just curl my roots for just a second before to give those extra lift. After curling, it is going to look like a crazy texturized mess. Don't worry, it's exactly what we're after. What I'm gonna do is take a tiny bit of hair oil. I like to use the Moroccan Oil Light, and take a pump of that and run that through all of my hair. After you put your hair oil in, I am taking a brush and I'm just brushing out any spots where I feel like my hair has a little bit too much curl in it. You basically just brush to relax that curl and make it look a little bit more lived in. I'm taking a bit of dry shampoo and I'm gonna add that in to where my hair would part if I were to flip it either which way, because these downside sections of my hair, they get less voluminous throughout the day, so I like to have a little bit of grit through there. So having a bit of a gritty dry shampoo just keeps that area looking a little bit more fluffy and a little bit more happy throughout the day. I really like using a sea salt spray in my hair when it's this length. Again, it just helps to add a tiny bit more texture to the hair and gives it, again, a little bit more of a gritty feeling. And to finish off, all you need to do is go through your hair and just kind of mess it up and tousle it. Sometimes I like to pick up a piece and I kind of grip my fingers back and forth to just give it a little bit more texture in that particular area. Throughout the day, I like to just separate where my hair is splitting, and I'll either flip it this way or I'll flip it this way. The fun thing about this hair is that you genuinely can play with it as much as you want, and the more you play with it, the kind of better it kind of gets and the more lived in it looks. So it's really just up to you of where you want your hair to sit. Like realistically, you can just flip your head, mess it up, put it back, and just go with it from there. The other day when you guys saw me in my vegan taste testing video, that's all I did, and I collected my hair back into a little pony, and then I did a little wraparound fun bun. So there's so many different ways you can take this look. It just depends on how you kind of want it to look for that given day. It also depends on how your hair is sitting. Like, have you washed it recently? Do you have a ton of dry shampoo or a ton of product in it, or whatever have you? Your hair can kind of sit a little bit differently depending on that, but this is kind of the look that I go for when I use my curling wand. So this is look number one. All right, so I'm back. It is actually the next day, and I am now gonna show you guys how to do basically the same hairstyle, but using a straight iron in case you do not have a curling iron. So what I'm gonna do is start off again by separating my hair, and just a note, I've already done all of the heat protectant and all the product that I've used is already in my hair. So I'm just gonna start out by clamping my hair again. Now the biggest thing using a straight iron to do curls is the angle, and what I mean by that is you want to be taking your straight iron and gliding it through your hair at a 45-degree angle rather than kind of grabbing and pulling, or rather than coming from underneath. Always come from on top and glide it through and down, and you'll find that your curls come out so much better, they last longer, and it doesn't damage your hair. I know we've all had moments where you do it from the wrong angle and you're just like yanking it through your hair. This doesn't have to be like that, and it is so much easier if you just get the angle right. So play around with it. But what I'm gonna do is basically the same type of thing as what I did with the curling wand. I'm gonna take a chunk of hair, and instead of doing a twisting motion all the way through, I'm just gonna take it from about the middle of the shaft, twist it a little bit, and glide it. And I'm gonna leave the little end bit out, so it gives me a kinky little curl just like that. And if you did want to do a full curl, you'd obviously glide it straight through all the way to the end, but that's not what I'm after. I'm just after doing little tiny kinky curls. And I'm gonna alternate again, doing it right from the root, and twisting and gliding it a little bit, and then letting it out. And I'm gonna alternate going one way as well as the other way. So clamping, twisting, and gliding it through. And now for my other side of the head, I will switch hands, and again, come from over top, clamp it, twist it, and slide. For the back bits, all you're really looking to do is create that texture. It doesn't have to be a full-on curl. Like I said before, I'm alternating the amount of hair that I'm grabbing each time, and I'm alternating which way I'm curling it. I'm also alternating whether or not I'm clamping the hair near the base and letting go around mid-shaft, or I'm clamping near mid-shaft and going all the way down to the base. So with that one, I clamped right near my head, but I left the ends out. For this one, I'm gonna do the exact opposite. So I'm gonna clamp it right about here, and then twist it and glide it right through to the bottom. Now again, with my topmost layer, what I'm gonna do is take my fringe and kind of separate that from the back piece. That works. I like to have a little bit more volume in this section of my head, so I'm gonna clamp a little bit closer to the root and start the curl there, just to give me a bit more lift where I want it. And twist all the way to the mid shaft and leave the ends out. Like that. Give it a bit of a twist. Slide it and leave the ends out. And leave it like that so that the ends are straight on that one. This next one, I think I might do a full curl, starting right from the very top all the way through to the end. It's a really curly one. And just play around with it until you get exactly what you're looking for texture-wise. It's such a customizable look, and like I said earlier, you're going for a really, really messy bedhead look. It doesn't have to be perfect. I'm gonna add a tiny pump of Moroccan oil just through the ends to tame any crazy frizziness. And I'm gonna use a tiny bit of the sea salt spray again to give, just again, a little bit more texture. And this is how it looks with the straight iron version of doing this. So this is how I achieve a very similar look using two very different tools. I hope that you guys found today's video helpful. If you are in the market for a new set of hair tools, I do have a discount code down below in the info box for you to use. Thank you guys so much for watching. Don't forget to subscribe, and I will see you in my next video. Bye!